You've probably noticed this. Every time you open your phone, your screen feels like it knows you. A news headline pulls at your fear. An app suggests a product you didn't know you needed. A politician says something that makes you nod, even if you didn't fully understand why. What if I told you none of this is random? This isn't magic. It's not even conspiracy. It's called nudging. And in the hands of powerful people, politicians, bankers, media companies, it's becoming one of the most invisible tools of control in our time. Let me explain. Nudging isn't forcing you. It doesn't say, you must do this. Instead, it says, this is what most people like you do. Or, this option is safer. Or, you'll regret it if you don't. It works because we're human. We follow the crowd. We fear loss more than we value gain. We trust familiar voices. And now, with artificial intelligence, we can be nudged personally, at scale, 24 hours a day. Take politics. In the last election, a campaign used artificial intelligence to scan millions of social media profiles. It found people who were anxious about rising prices, not because they were poor, but because they'd recently searched for gas bills or grocery costs. Then, for those people, they saw ads showing a candidate standing in front of a supermarket shelf, half empty, with the words, "They let this happen, we'll fix it." No lie. No fake video. Just a carefully timed feeling, paired with a simple solution. And millions voted, thinking they made the choice themselves. But who decided which feeling to trigger? Who chose which problem to highlight and which to ignore? That was a strategist in a room, using data, not democracy. Now look at business. A major bank recently changed how it presented savings accounts. Instead of showing the highest interest rate first, they put the low-risk option at the top. It sounded responsible. Safe, smart. But here's the catch. That safe option was funded by defense contractors, and the bank made more money from it. They didn't lie. They just made the choice feel right, without asking if it was right for you. And then there's the media. We all saw the images from Ukraine, the rubble, the children, the tears. We were told Russia started this war. That is true. Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022. That is a fact. No one denies it. But what if the stories we saw, the ones that made us angry, that made us donate, that made us believe Russia is only evil, never showed the other side? Not to excuse the invasion, but to ask, why didn't we hear about the 2014 protests in Kyiv? Why didn't we hear about NATO's expansion over 20 years? Why didn't we hear about the Minsk agreements? Why didn't we hear about Ukrainian forces near civilian areas, or the fact that both sides have caused civilian deaths? Because the story that sells, the one that unites us, is simple. Good versus evil. And that's not journalism. That's framing. When you only see one side, even if it's true, you stop thinking. You stop asking, who benefits if I believe this? Who made sure I saw this and not that? And that's when manipulation becomes invisible. You don't feel controlled. You feel righteous. You don't feel fooled. You feel informed. But you're not. Not fully. Because real information doesn't just tell you what happened. It tells you why it happened, from every angle. And it doesn't push you to feel one way. It lets you decide. So what happened to our ability to think for ourselves? It didn't disappear. It was worn down. Not because people are lazy. Not because they're dumb. But because thinking alone is hard. It takes time. It brings doubt. It isolates you. It makes you vulnerable. When everyone around you says, this is clear, and you feel confused, you start to wonder, am I the problem? So you stop asking questions. You swallow the story. You click agree. You share the post. You vote the way you're told to. And you tell yourself, I'm not stupid, I'm just tired. But here, the truth. You are not weak for choosing comfort over clarity. You're human. And that's why the systems that nudge us are so effective. Because they don't trick you. They understand you. They know you're exhausted. They know you want peace. They know you don't want to be the one who stands out. So they give you certainty. A simple enemy. A clear side. A path with no stones. And they call it the truth. But the truth doesn't come in slogans. It comes in silence. In questions. In the courage to say, I don't know, but I want to find out. That's the kind of thinking that's being erased. Not by force. By fatigue. And that's why your voice matters. Because you're still asking, why do people follow the crowd? Why don't they think for themselves? You're not blaming them. You're mourning them. And maybe you're mourning yourself too. But here, the hope. You are not alone. There are millions of quiet people. The teacher who shows students how to fact check. The parent who says, let's look this up together. The listener who says, tell me why you believe that. And you who wrote this, who asked this, who still wonders. They don't shout. They don't go viral. They don't get paid. But they're still thinking. And that's the revolution. So here's your armor. First, slow down. Don't react to headlines. Wait 10 minutes. Then ask, why did this make me feel this way? Second, seek friction. If something feels too easy, too smooth, too perfectly timed, it's designed. Go to a different source. Read a newspaper. Talk to someone who disagrees. Third, follow the money. Who profits from you believing this? Who gets richer, stronger, or more powerful if you feel this way? Fourth, accept uncertainty. The truth is often messy. It doesn't fit in a 15-second clip. And that's okay. It means you're learning, not being led. Fifth, own your choices. Even if you fail. Even if you're wrong. Even if you change your mind. Because the moment you stop choosing for yourself, you stop being free. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be right. You just need to be honest. And if you ever feel like you're the only one asking these questions, remember this. The most dangerous thing in the world isn't manipulation. It's the silence that follows. So speak up quietly. Think for yourself slowly. Fail if you must. But never let the crowd decide for you. Because freedom isn't about being right. It's about being yours. Thank you for listening. And thank you for still thinking.